G'day Australia, Tim here again for Beefing Up Australia Let's Get Rural, and we're in the beautiful little township of Balldale. We're at the Balldale Hotel and we're talking to Lee. How are you, Lee?
I'm good, thanks, Tim.
G'day mate. So, how long have you been here in Balldale?
Well, we bought the pub nearly 2 years ago, so March 2019, and we opened up late November, or in November 2019, so we're just going sort of 12 months open here.
Oh right, so where did you come from before that?
So we got some connections. We're from Melbourne, so myself and my brother and our partners are involved in the hotel.
That's a big tree change.
Well, we're not changing so much. I mean, we're still between Melbourne and Riverina, and Corowa and surroundings and Balldale. But I said we invested here. We've got family in Howlong, which is 15 minutes away. We've also run a business there. We've got property around there, so it's not like we've just driven past the place and seen it and gone, I think we're just going to buy a pub. So there's probably a little bit more to it. Yeah.
So you've been here a few times and you've...
I come here, I come into Balldale, I think first time I come when I was maybe 16. Next time I had my oldest boy, and he was probably 2 or 3. And that was a long, long time ago. And my recollections of that was, I think it might have been a football, like an Anzac weekend, and I remember going through the door and it was like the Wild West, It was like, like a creaky door and everyone turned around and put their beer down and the music stopped and then, and they're back into it again. But it was really quite raw, that was, 90s, that was late 90s there.
So it would have still been an original hotel, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. It hadn't changed much from then to when we took it over. It's had not reincarnations, but it's had a few extensions over the years since it's been built. So built in 1904, or started in 1905, and originally named Carnsdale Hotel, so this area was called Carnsdale.
That's the same time the township was actually established.
It was formed, yeah.
And the post office was built in too?
Correct, yeah. And then the historians will probably correct me, but there was a conflict there is another Carnsdale locality here, and there was a Carnsdale post office, and they had to change the name because there was some conflicting, people didn't know actually where to go. So I think at the time there was a RT Ball, I think he was a dignitary around here, so he got to name the town after himself. However, there was a selection of names. One of the historians here who just formed a local community committee, so he's quite involved in that, and he'll probably correct me on that later on anyway over a beer.
But as long as it's over a beer and it's nice and amicable.
That's right, yeah.
And have a laugh and a joke about it.
Of course.
So, because there's also a football team and everything else here too.
There was, yeah. So the last football game here was 72, 73. 72 premiership side, they won the flag, and then next year they disbanded.
Yeah, because I've seen in the local history pages, 77 was the last one, and they had, I think it was 9 premierships and 3 runners-ups.
Pretty successful club, yeah. And the Magpies too, mate.
That's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got to stay the black and white, don't you?
I didn't know until we bought the place, really. Yeah, it's come with it.
Because the original colours of the Balldale Footy Club was green and black.
A long time ago.
That was a long time ago,
yeah. And there's pictures in the pool room up front there, you'll see. And there is they're fortunate, got a lot of history around that. The Rec Reserve keeps a lot of the football and a lot of the cricket memorabilia out there as well. But yeah, big names, big old families here.
The Longmire name.
Longmires, yeah. They played here and also in the surrounds as well.
Yeah.
Back then a lot of people they did chop and change and play in different, like Burraja, towards Corowa, Corrine, those towns.
Because a lot of people don't realise that John Longmire, his family came from here.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
His father, Walter, played in one of the first interstate games, New South Wales versus South Australia, in 1927.
That's probably his grandfather.
It was his grandfather.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Yeah, and, Fred he's still in the area and community, a farmer here, and he still drops in and has a beer, so...
Oh, right.
Yeah, we catch up and talk about football, and he's a Swans man now, he's moved on to the Swans, so...
I see John's coach of the Swans,
Yeah.
So who do you follow with footy?
I'm Collingwood, mate, yeah.
Good lad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like you. Yeah, not like The director, he follows Carlton.
Yeah, we've got a few of those Carlton supporters here too. They get stuck into me.
Yeah, so they stay under the mat.
They come out, we try and keep them away.
Yes. But you've got to, don't you? But it's good rivalry.
Well, football, that's a connection with football, you know, not just in city, country towns. I mean, as an example, obviously grew up in Melbourne, around the outskirts of Melbourne, lived in the city. But now, if you're in Melbourne and you live there and you talk to someone at the pub and you ask them what football team they vote for, and they say, I don't have one, then you're really strange.
Yeah, you're on the outer.
You're on the outer ring. You've got to have one. Even if you don't have one, just make it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wing it.
So being set in the heart of the Riverine, basically, any rugby fans through here as well?
Bit low down. I think league sort of maybe sort of Cootamundra, sort of on that sort of line there, a bit further up Wagga. But certainly, yeah, no, not so much here. I don't think it's that popularity. You know, mainly AFL, because you know AFL was a big. This area was North Melbourne was originally a big draw card pool for North Melbourne back in the day, and that was the connection back through the long lines and a few of the other players.
Also, I know that back through the history of the footy club here at Balldale, one fella, he got dragged back from the Richmond Footy Club that he was playing for, back to Balldale, which is where he come from, to coach the Balldale Footy Club. And there was also another fella, I think it was Frank Jackson, I think. He went out and tried for the Collingwood Footy Club back in the 1930s.
Wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, a lot of good players have come from this area and these surrounds. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and as I said to you, you need to talk to the old historians and some of the people who remember those names because yeah. What's your name again?
My name's Tim.
Yeah.
I also noticed that there's an old school here.
There's an old schoolhouse.
Which is now somebody's living
schoolhouse. Yeah, that's so. I couldn't give you the dates on when the school closed down, but you know, a lot of people that are locals that drink here, their kids went to that school. They're grown up in their mid-20s now, so we're not talking that long ago. We've got the schoolhouse. We've got the old police station back up there. We're also near the schoolhouse. I was just saying we've got the post office, which is still in operation. Used to be a general store. Used to be 3 banks in the main street.
Used to be 3 banks.
3 banks here, Balldale, yeah.
Wow. 3 banks, 1 pub, 1 school, 1 pub.
Only 1 pub.
School.
Yeah. So don't forget, because I had the train line here, because you catch a train from here to Sydney, yeah?
Yeah, you used to, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that stopped in 86 or thereabouts.
I think they need some woodcutters on the front of the trains to get through there.
I don't think it's going to be resurrected that quickly.
Oh, probably not.
But yeah, so that was probably, yeah, so this was a main street, obviously. There was a bit of a hub there with the silos and all the grain coming through. So that's why it was quite busy.
We noticed the old church not far down the road as well, which is now somebody's residence.
Yeah.
It's been kept in really good nick for an original building too.
Yeah, look, and pretty much, you know, the same as a lot of the buildings here and the hotel. It's all these bricks are made locally, and I'm assuming the church down there is similar. You know, they made the bricks just literally in the block up the road here. A lot of the buildings, this building itself, was really structurally quite sound. You know, we had the white ants, but all the white ants they all ate the new stuff. You know, all the original things they didn't. It was too hard.
It was, it was more solid, wasn't it?
Yeah, so they didn't get to it. But so structurally, the bones of this place are really good. So all we did when we come in was a bit of a, you know, if you like the word, a bit of a turn, a bit of a makeover.
Yep.
You know? So that was all was sort of needed. But that style, that Federation style, is pretty iconic and pretty Australian, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is indeed. So you could use the old adage, if it's like a bloke gave it a haircut, and it's like a female, you go to touch up with some makeup.
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, just need to be love, need to be just brought into the next century.
Yeah. So what's one of the things that you think that the pub might supply for the community and the community for the pub?
Look, we didn't really, when we went into this, we didn't really, we didn't fully understand how big the loss of the hotel was and the closure of the hotel was. Certainly touched a lot of people, and yeah, certainly missed it being around for such a long time and then to close for 8 years, and then for us to open, it was quite I'm just trying to sort of overwhelming, to a point there where it's a lot of support from the people. So from when we purchased it, I come and had a look at the place, and I knew the locals. I saw the locals had a barbecue across the road every Friday night because the pub was shut. And a lot of people had built their own little bar and things in their sheds, and so like this particular afternoon I was here, I was having another quick look at it, making sure I was signing my life away and making the right decisions, as we do. And the cars pulled up over the road, and I thought, no bit of time, sort of, we were pretty committed to the place then. So I walked across the road, and they all did stop, and they just turned around, and it's like, hey, so you're going to buy the pub, eh? It's like, maybe. And then a cool group of, locals.
So there was no pressure?
No pressure, no. So they were pretty excited thereafter, and then saying they would still come and drink here and supported us and helped us out, in rebuilding the place. And might be from, we've got Jacko at the back, helps us, he's cut a lot of the timber here, from local fallen timber that he's had stored there, and also like the guys dropping us off, sausages and lamb chops.
So besides yourself and your brother getting in and doing most of the work, the locals have also got in and helped out as best as they can.
As best they can, hands on, absolutely. If we need a leg of anything, cement mixer, we really did try and draw on as many locals as we could here as well. But then going back to the opening, and then obviously fully supported from the opening. And
I reckon there would have been a few tears shed in the first day or two that you were open. The locals are, the pub's back again. Yeah,
there's a few guys there. I know Willow's a regular, and he was one that certainly missed it, for many ways. He was, I think someone said he was walking down towards the pub that day, and he's had this really cheesy, stupid grin on his face.
That's it to say, I'm going home.
It's not back. It's back.
Yeah. So the pub in the community is a saviour, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. There's no two ways. You lose a hotel when you lose the beating heart of the community. So they are very, very important. And it's not about the business, and it's not about the alcohol, and it's not about the good times and music. What's about the good times, of course.
And it's always about the good times, about the bad times as well.
Of course, and it's a place and we did lose one of our members of our community here last year, and we had had a wake across the road there, and it was just a lot of people, a lot of the same faces, but good to see them all together. And as you know, unfortunately, it takes those type of things to get people together. Unfortunately, but a lot of good times here. There's been a lot of weddings here. We haven't had any since we've opened up. A lot of people, meeting and getting married here as well, which is always a good story. Hopefully a few more out of that. It is really. There's guys that just come, and yes, they like a beer, but they still like to sit down and have a chat, and they'll talk to anyone that comes through the door. And it's good to watch when you're behind the bar and you're the publican, or you're just behind the bar working, and you sort of get to watch it from a different view, as opposed to actually being there on the other side.
And you see something new coming in you've never seen before, and g'day mate, how you going?
Yeah.
Or g'day love, how are you?
Yeah.
And it's just true Aussie character, isn't it?
That's it. And we always make an effort, and we always talk about people on our staff, that you always try and connect. If you've got someone sitting over there and someone sitting over there, you'll do your darndest to get them together and have a chat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, say g'day.
Say g'day.
Yeah, because that doesn't hurt, does it?
Doesn't hurt. Doesn't cost you anything, does it?
No, definitely not. And one day, because you're sitting over there, crying their heart out because of a loss or something.
Yep.
Somebody else over here sitting down having a laugh and joke, or wanting to go by themselves. Mate, just come over and say g'day to this one. They're having a bit of a hard time. And, I might help you both out. Things like that. It's the same as a meeting place where community and the farmers can come in at the end of the day or the end of the week, have a beer, a chat, a laugh, talk about work, their crops, and catch up with their mates as well as the people behind the bar.
Yep. And also, as well as you got locals, we get a lot of people that come through here that'll come and visit. So it is a good, a good opportunity for them to meet other people and experience different things and hear about different things and, sort of open your horizons without actually going anywhere. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was
So
chatting to a young couple out there at the bar before. They were from how long?
Yep.
And I think it was their first time here as well.
Oh, really?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I mean, there's so many people that have live so close that have never come to Balldale.
Yeah, and that's one of the things. I mean, like I said, it's what, 15k up the road,
Yeah.
and you've got other towns, Cora was 18k down the road and so forth. They just need to get out, get into a smaller place, visit the local community and spend a couple of dollars in the pub with a meal, a cold beer, say good day.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a week, a day trip, come out, you don't have to have meals, come out and have a couple of beers and sit down and enjoy the beer and enjoy the music.
And that's what keeps the pub alive.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
It saves the community.
Yeah, well, I'm not the saviour, but
It's the people that come in, spend their dollars, say good day,
that's right.
just for a day visit.
Yeah.
All right, and you said something about you're working on getting accommodation.
We've got 8 rooms here, so we've been really trying to get them started. We were sort of holed up in there for a few months, late last year.
With your crap.
Yeah, so we would like to start them earlier. So we've got 8 rooms there, and we've got some grassed area down the side of the pub for some camping and swags and tents and
cool.
bits and pieces. So
Because there's a lot in the area surrounding
Yeah,
towns.
there's a bit.
Get out and have a look at it and then come back.
there is, yeah, absolutely. Because we're only 10, 15 minutes from the river down here.
Oh,
down
right.
the Murray.
Where's that one? Oh, the Murray.
The big one, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Any fishing there?
No, I haven't. I've tried a lot. Yeah. Gets in the way of other stuff.
Yeah, it does. That's not the option. You can multitask, fish and rod, beer.
Yeah, no, there's a few of the guys, and like even a lot of the farmers here, they've only last couple of weeks they've had their time off. It's been a big harvest up here,
Yeah.
which is fantastic. It's been tough probably the last 3 or 4 years, and we sort of understood the back end of it since we've got here and really understood the farming ways and the farming needs and how they work. And it's really good to see them have a good harvest and a good year, and it just rubs on everyone. You can see the smiles on their faces. And
So that's another big bonus with the pub, with the
Yeah.
farmers around here with their harvest.
Yeah.
To see somebody come in, take the time and give it back the love and everything else and reorganise and reopen the pub.
Yep.
For the community and for the farmers, and not only them but for yourself as well. Meet new people, make new friends, continue old friendships that you've made at some stage, and breathe life back into the community.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah, 100%. I don't know, that many times I've seen, like I said, you've been on one side of the bar, you've seen someone walk in and someone said, "How you going, mate? I haven't seen you for 15 years. So where else, if you can't meet someone in that time, where else are you going to see them?"
That's right. We were at one place there a while ago, we were there and we were talking away to the publican, having a good old chat. And they said, well, the good thing about the pub, because this one was shut for a few years as well, and he breathed some new life into it,
Yep.
reopened it. The community said, oh, well, it's open. Fella from down the road comes in. The pub had only been shut 4 or 5 years, I think. Fella down the road comes in. And they said, "G'day mate, how you going? Haven't seen you around here before." He said, "No, last time I was in here was 40 years ago." So where you from? About 6
6
hours
miles
down the road. Well, why? Oh, I just had a bit of a falling out with one of the other guys here, and he said that day that fella came in, fella that he had a fallout with, came in on the same day, as, "Yeah, mate, how you going? Yeah, not bad. It's all under the table now?" "Yeah, mate." "Cool." But 40 years in between,
That's right.
since he'd been in the pub, and he'd always gone to another town to get his beer to drink home.
Yep.
But now that the pub was open again, so I had new people in there, we'll go and find out. They said now they go in there regular.
Yeah, it's a common theme, Tim. It is a common theme, and yeah, for sure. Yeah, hear it a lot, see it and hear it a lot. So, you put that in place, that importance on on hotels and what they do from that respect. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And one other thing with hotels as well, especially in little communities like
beer.
this, besides the beer, it's good for mental health and depression and anxiety and such in the community.
Yeah. You know, farming is hard work. Yeah. A lot of the guys maybe, you know, single or not have large families here, or they have families elsewhere and they work away. So, you know, hotels and local pubs are a place for them to come and certainly have a chat. And as I was saying before, talking about how their crops are going, how they can improve them, what they can do, whether they need a piece of machinery, they can source it, you know. It's sort of,
Definitely. And if they're single, it also gives them somewhere to go and chat with somebody as well.
Yeah.
Because when you're single and you've got mental health issues because of bad crops, drought, fire, flood, COVID, the pub and the publican gives them somewhere, an outlet to go and have a chat, a cold beer, somebody to talk to.
yeah, we've had a chap come in here quite a few times, and he's had he had PTSD, so he's come back from doing a bit of a tour and he's getting through it. He's just travelling around with his dog, just working, and he's come in a couple of times, and I at the time when I seen him, I said, "How you going?" I can't remember his name now. I can't see his face, but I call him Tim. I said, "How you going, Tim?" And he goes, "Lee." He goes, "You remember my name?" He goes, I said, "Yeah, of course, mate." I said, "You've been here a couple of times, you know, we've had a good chat." And he told me his story the first time, and I remember that. And so, yeah, they're the good news stories, and you want to keep seeing those people coming back.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
But you also get your bad news stories from out on farms and everything else as well, tragedies and things. And then once again, the pub and the publican, right, they've got to know those people, but they've also provided a shoulder for the family as well.
Yeah, you know, has been a few farming deaths this year in local surrounds, and you can just see, not that close to here to Balldale, but certainly they really rally around the families, and you know, they might finish off the harvest, or they might help out with harvest or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's great to watch. It's great to see.
We've had something similar about that. We were in another town that the farmers were there doing their harvest, and there was a fire at a neighbouring property.
Yeah.
All the farmers in the district down tools, labelled their trucks, where they finished, into the utes, straight out to help that farmer battle the fire, and they got it out. But at the end of the day, they said, "Well, we'll finish the harvest off tomorrow. We're going to have a beer, let's go."
Yeah.
And that's community, that's helping
Absolutely.
each other.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. It has to be done.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Right, and for you and your partner to come down here from Melbourne, and how long, family up there in Corrigan, to come here to this little community and breathe fresh life back into a pub that's been shut for 8 years, and to give something back to the community, somewhere for them to go and meet and have a chat and a cold beer, mate, that's bloody fantastic.
Thanks, mate.
It really is indeed.
Yeah.
I've got one more thing to ask you.
Sure.
It's probably the hardest question you've ever been asked.
Yep. Shoot.
What does community mean to you?
Gee, there's a lot of words can go around community, can't there? You know, spirit, friendship, mateship, love. There's just so many things that sort of pop into your head. I think the feeling you get out of seeing other people enjoying themselves, living a good life, and having a smile on their face in your own, just, you know, talk locally in community, in you know, local area. I think that's priceless. Yeah.
And in a community like this, it's family.
It is. Yeah. It becomes family. Yeah. You know, and we've made a lot of good friendships that'll last forever. You know, just through being, we've only been here for a couple of years. Yeah.
Most definitely. And I've only met you today. I can already see the friendship going there.
Thanks, mate.
Good on you, Lee.
Cheers. Thanks,
Thanks,
mate. Yeah, appreciate it.